Hello, I am Muhtadin Iqbal. I am an architect. I have graduated from Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology in 2008. And since then, I have been engaged in academia. Right now, I am an assistant professor in the University of Asia Pacific in Dhaka. I am engaged with teaching architecture. So, as you can understand, I am an educator and an architect first and foremost. So, obviously, I am not one of the frontliners in this battle against the um, COVID-19 virus. And from our own capacity, we are trying to do what we can to ensure life goes on and we do whatever we should be doing. And as an educator, so today I will be focusing on the education sector and in particular education, architecture education, and the overall situation of it in Bangladesh from where I am. So first I would like to focus on the overall general education sector of Bangladesh. Like any other country, here the education sector is divided in three tiers. Like there is a school, secondary school system, there is higher secondary school, and then there are the tertiary level, which are the universities, and where I am engaged right now. Just to give you an overall idea of the situation here in Bangladesh, uh, there are 42 million school children, and the school have been closed because of the pandemic, and these 42 million children are out of school right now. So they're not getting their education, and there is a disruption in their general academic activity. And there are almost 19 million post-secondary level students who are also inactive right now, because all the universities and all the classes are closed, and no academic activity is happening uh, anywhere in the country. And just to give you an idea about the whole situation, all the public level examinations like the O levels, the A levels, and the HSC examination has been postponed, and there is a huge uncertainty among students about when it will happen. So this is a very gloomy situation. If I particularly focus on the university level scenario, uh, it will give you an idea if about the university level. There was a survey conducted among 36 universities to find out whether they're prepared to take online classes or classes in the digital platform or not, by the request of the government. And it was found out that among these 36 universities, only 2 universities were found out to be capable enough to conduct the online classes. And all the other universities concluded that uh, online they are not prepared for taking online classes, not because of unavailability of resource or something. They're saying that it is not ensuring the equity of education, which is a very important or first and foremost part of any educational system of a country. And the factors that are affecting this situation, or the factors which are creating this situation, are two types. First, there are technical or technological factors which are easily understandable, like internet inaccessibility, availability of devices. And there is another factors which is affecting this inequity, is social factors. It was found out that that there is a large number of students who don't have conducive environment or conducive scenario in their household or where they're staying right now, and which is not very helpful for them to continue any type of class and things like that. And beside that, there are many other social distractions, like everyone is panicked and stressed about this whole pandemic situation and this new way of living. And that is a very big distraction to concentrate on the education and to continue uninterrupted class or things like that. Just to put a um, perspective, just to put these things into perspective, I can share two stories. In one family which I know of, they have 4 kids, and they are all school going kids. But in that family, they want to continue their education. The kids are very eager to do it. The school are offering online classes, and they are very excited about it. But they don't have enough devices like computer or things like that to provide to 4 kids at the same time. So it's a very curious situation, but these are facts. And if I want to focus on the social aspect, one particular student of mine, she informed me that as a younger child, he has quite old parents and who are ill right now. And when she is staying with them, it is her duty to look after them. When she is out of the house and when she is living in hostel during usual academic calendar, there are some relative or some caregiver who does that for her. But right now, as those persons are not available and it's not possible to get help from others, she is mostly occupied with uh, her parents take care and everything. So she is not able to attend or join classes when it is required. So these are certain types of scenarios which shows the challenges that we encountered while adapting to new digital tool in this pandemic situation. So um, now what can we do to address these challenges? As educators, we have researched and we have found out that there are certain ways, and among them we are trying to apply two particular methods in particular in our case. One is asynchronous learning, and another is individual learning. Uh, Asynchronous learning is something which caters to students who don't have uniform situations available, right? Like someone might have access to internet, someone might not have that, someone might have access to certain technology, or some student might not have that at their home at this point. So we have to devise the way where every student, irrespective of their situation, can avail the uh, academic courses or the learnings that are being provided. And individual learning is something which is tailor made for any individual according to their availability of time and their devices. So it doesn't compel them to attend classes at a particular time or do certain tasks at a particular time, because at that point of time he might not have access to the infrastructure or things like that, which are very common here in our country. So he has the independence or freedom to do the learning or the task according to his own time, which is tailor made for him or her. to suit her needs. So these are two methods that we are trying to uh, address the challenges that we have right now. And, and right now, I would like to focus on the architecture education in particular, where I am engaged. So, if we talk about architecture education, it is mainly design education, and design education is mostly revolves around the design studio and sessional based education, which has originated uh, way back through internship or apprenticeship and evolved as a process of problem solving guided by the instructor's critique, and which is basically rooted in oral and verbal discussion on drawings and models. So the whole architecture education is basically a face-to-face um, learning, teaching learning process, and physical interaction with the client, with the site, and with the drawing, and in the case of the studios, and in the case of academic, it is with the teachers. And so the core of the age-old method that we have in architecture education has been taken out of equation because of this pandemic situation. So now we're left with nothing to do but to devise new tools that can go alongside the before mentioned asynchronous learning and the individual learning system. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to devise new technology and mostly new attitude towards teaching learning. And here the technological part is quite obvious. We need to do certain we need to take certain measures which uses the technology in a more effective manner to address the lack of face-to-face interaction and lack of discussion. So what we are trying to do, we are focusing mostly on the video-based technologies that we have right now, but it has a big downside. Like when the internet facility is poor and it is not available to all, video-based and large format data for instruction or uh, classes are not possible for the students to access. And the second is the most obvious. We have to adapt to new software and new platforms, like we're using Zoom and Google G Suite, Google based other platforms for interaction. And there is a software called Concept Board, which is very useful for us architects to communicate within a large team to discuss drawings and design ideas. And they are very friendly, and they are very easy to use and easy to communicate with. Um, in my university, we have after this situation, when the lockdown happened, we were in the middle of a final examination, and we have to take few exams after the lockdown started. And there we have devised the exam system as a viva, or oral examination system. And it was found to be quite effective using those platforms. And design jury is a major part of architectural education, and we have conducted the final year jury through online platform this time. And it was a refreshing change because this time the jury sessions were moderated, because we were quite conscious about the time that we had in our hand, and in that way it was found to be very efficient because of the online platform. And one thing surprisingly which we didn't realized earlier, that it gave us opportunity to have a more closer and in-depth look at any design, because each and every design is at our hand in our own devices, and we can access those when we are criticizing or when we are appreciating those designs. So these are all very useful and positive outcome of the technology that we are using right now. But the second thing that we need to apply and we are trying to adapt to is new attitude, um, in parallel to the new technologies that we are using. Uh, the attitude that we need to have right now, which is very important, is to be more open and accessible to the students, and to have more interaction with the students through video and live broadcasting, so that they can have a feel of the usual interactions that they're mostly used to with the teachers. And we have found out that it is also very important to have this live and real-time interaction with them through digital platform, to keep their mental state in a upbeat manner. Otherwise it is very depressing, and as they are not interacting and they are not enjoying the usual university campus life, it is very easy for them to become depressed and lose their focus on the education. So whatever we are doing right now, it is very important for us. We put very big priority on keeping the students more engaged and keeping the sessions that we have more interactive than before. But the technology and attitude should go hand in hand. Otherwise, the technology, which is a matter of application and availability, is there, but it is not useful until we have a very conducive attitude towards this technology. As an educator and an architect, I think it is very important to have an open and accepting attitude towards technology, towards the change that is evident, and towards the transformation that is bound to happen because of this unprecedented situation. And as attitude is something which is cerebral and a very psychological thing, it is something that I personally think can be addressed through artificial intelligence and things like that, through new digital media and new interventions of science and technology. So these things, if put into proper use, can bridge or narrow the gap between the technology and the attitude that we need to have right now. And this gap should be narrowed to address the need of this unprecedented situation that is happening around us. So there are challenges, there are possibilities which are resultant of this challenge, and we only can take positive out of it. And in reality, these situation have presented us with some wholesale change in mindset regarding the overall pedagogical aspect of architectural education, and it is mostly for the good. And we are eager and we are trying our level best to grab this opportunity and make best use of this situation that we have in our hand right now to give us a boost towards the future. So we are looking at it in a positive manner, and we are also trying to propagate the same sentiment among the students so that they don't feel uh, overwhelmed, or they don't feel burden about this overall digital education and online education thing. And we want them to approach it in a more sporting manner, and as their students it is expected from them to be more open towards change. And if they're keeping, or if they're putting a demand on the education sector as well as the educators like us to cater them with new and um, different methods of teaching and learning, it is up to us to provide that. So to do that, I personally, as an educator, I am keeping an open mind, and I am trying to have a very positive attitudes towards the whole uh, technological thing as well as the downside of the pandemic situation. So for me, it's a opportunity, and I think we are moving in the right track with the right attitude at this point of time. So that is what is the situation I have to share with you. Thank you again to the organizers of Curiosity Conference 2018 for this incredible opportunity to communicate with all the bright minds and to share our small experience that we have. Thank you.